You will work, you will be exterminated, exterminate, exterminate.
Yeah, other than that,
there's not much else. I mean, I like the Gran. Oh yeah. Well, you know that knocking. What was that? It's never explained. Because when we go into the room, she's literally just standing there. I always like to think it's her just smacking her face against the wall, like dog.
she's trying to get out, walking against the door.
I need the toilet. That's not the door. That's not the door. Like using her face. Like...
Oh, that's the window. I'd say the climax was pretty. It's high energy at least.
Yeah, I liked it how like it didn't work straight away, and the doctor. But the thing is, the doctor kind of just sits on the towel like, oh dear.
This is awkward. Congratulations.
It got oops. But then luckily they actually had a spare whatever that was.
I was lucky.
I was lucky. But yeah.
There isn't a lot more to say about it.
There's really not much. There are actually one thing that they kind of set up, but then did nothing with it was. So when they come and take Gran at the house, the guards or whatever, he punches the doctor in the face, and then the doctor wakes up and goes, "Oh, I've got to watch out, right hook or whatever. It's a good right hook. I got to watch out for that." And they did nothing with that.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting later on that him to do like a punch and like dodge it, and then like or like do some Venusian karate.
I mean, I guess it did make sense in the context of the story to do it again, but I mean, still would be nice to get some sort of payoff.
True. I wish Capaldi would do more Venusian karate. It would just fit. He looks, so close to John Pertwee. I love that Venusian karate. I just love saying Venusian. Not gonna lie, that is half the reason why I love saying it. Venusian. Oh, what a word. But yeah, okay, I guess that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
So I guess let's go into the 3 good points.
What about the nerdy?
No, we remember we do good, bad, then nerdy.
Oh yes, it's true.
It's been a while since we last recorded.
Yeah.
We forgot how to podcast.
What podcasts do?
Podcast we forgot.
Who podcast? 3 good points, right. So I shall say the general acting quality was high, the 50s aesthetic was done well, and the wire.
Yeah, I probably could basically say the general same thing. I'd say Wire is a kind of unique, a different villain. We haven't really had one quite like it. I mean,
as I said, in a lot of ways, it's just kind of like a generic beast that wants to be fed.
But it kind of makes and it makes thing is that it doesn't make the episode unique in general. I quite like that. It's like you go, if you ever say, "Oh, the TV one," you know exactly the one we're talking about. We'd know straight away. If someone goes, "Oh yeah, the TV one," where it takes their face, you'd be like, "Idiot's Lantern." So and then the general acting. I mean, the Connollys though, there's too much on them. I mean, they're all acted pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially I like when Rita grows a pair and gets rid of Eddie. I love that line. It's like, "Oh, there's been a monster in this house, but it wasn't my mum." That was good. And yeah, I'd say the general setting and how they made that pretty realistic and kind of made a boring kind of time. It's not the most exciting. A little bit interesting, I guess. But yeah. When I watch it now, when I look back at the DVD, I'm always like, "Oh, this is classic New Who." I got to call them classics now because they're over 10 years old.
Kind of.
It's the classic New Who. 10 years old. I would have been 8. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's over 10 years old because it was May when it came out, and it would have been filmed in 2005. So Well. Actually, if it was the later one, maybe not.
Nah,
early 2006, that would have been January.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 bad points.
3 bad. Ooh. I'll do this. I'd say the family being overdone, like really, really slowed down the pace of the episode. Like, because a lot of those scenes are kind of a blur. You know, you don't remember those scenes. You remember stuff like The Wire and The Faceless People, and they're not in it for all that long compared to how much time they spend on the Connolly's family squabbles and stuff. You know, so it's kind of uninteresting. I will say, how no, I'd say how some of the how some of the smaller things aren't handled so well. So he points out like the doctor going around the corner and not being able to find them, or them just conveniently ending up at the Connolly's house and that being the one where all the action takes place. So, you know, a lot of things in here felt kind of contrived and didn't feel right, you know. I'd probably say some of the general effects work and stuff wasn't done so great, so the green screen wasn't very good. And I mentioned the pixelated camera, which really bugs me, especially watching it upstairs on my the 4K monitor in particular. Like, most of it looks fine, but it's just those moments. Just suddenly you go to like these weird pixelated moments that you can just tell they just didn't do it right initially, and just had to zoom in and just hope for the best. And it just didn't work. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'd say one probably. I think some special effects are good, like when the face sucking.
Yeah.
But others are like that final bit. It's really off-putting, especially from like a low angle. And I mean, we only compare it to the time that it's been done, or if something beforehand has been done that looks better than that. Yeah. And Series 1 had some ace CG, so yeah. I mean, sorry, this one was a bit like it was like they kind of half tried, but
it was a bit cheap.
Didn't go all the way out with it. Two, a little too much with the Connollys. It felt a bit like Keeping Up with the Connollys. Kardashians. Keeping Up with the Connollys. That would be a great spin-off. Who needs class? You can have Keeping Up with the Connollys.
This week, Mr. Connolly goes to break back into the house. He gets into the window. Then Mrs. Connolly hits him with a frying pan.
Will Rita take him back? Rita! I am talking! Yeah. Wire makes a special appearance when they play the... See, like, can they actually bring the Wire back if, like, the VHS accidentally got played?
Yes.
Like, you know?
But would anybody want that?
I want a spin-off. Keeping Up with the Connollys and Tommy used to fight the Wire again.
Oh, that goofy Wire. Oh, he's up to her old tricks again.
It could be like Dora the Explorer, where it's always the Wire.
The Wire? Drat! How did you capture me?
I just unplugged the TV.
No, feed me!
But anyway, yeah, and third bad point. Yeah, there's some just really weak moments. Like, I mean, mainly the Doctor. Well, they got the personality right, but he was just a bit dumb. I mean, he was really slow. Like, did he need his, like, cat nap or something, you know?
Yeah, and it's just the audience already kind of...
And that mystery, the mystery, I definitely make that point.
Forgot
that, no, the mystery, no mystery at all. That's probably actually the biggest bad.
Yeah, that is.
No mystery at all. Okay, so the nerdy. Nerdy. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying nerdy. So yeah, obviously as mentioned before, one of the police officers mentioned Torchwood on our backs, and no mistake. So which Torchwood is obviously the story arc for this series too.
The story had the working titles of Mr. Sandman, Sonic Doom, and the One-Eyed Monster. None of which make much more sense than the title that we got. But
yeah,
like what What does the one-eyed monster have anything... I guess a TV, I guess. Actually, that does make sense in retrospect. Mr. Sandman doesn't, though, really.
Yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure that's that title. Maybe it was the early drafts, and it was going to do what the Sandman did. Like, in Sleep No More. 'Cause that's what they were called.
Yeah.
God, that got so annoying in that episode. Anyway, the title, actually, for this story was suggested by Gareth Roberts, who recalled the term being used by his father to refer to television. So there you go. It's actually Gareth Roberts who helped out with that one. I only just found that out, so there you go. It's just on the interwebs.
This episode was meant to be the 9th episode of season 2, instead of, well, where it was now, which is 7th, I think, if I remember right.
I think, yeah, it's around there. I'll just get some clarification on that.
With this. There was a line that the Doctor was supposed to say with about having trouble with radio tower transmissions, which is a reference to the Gospel Voice, where the Fourth Doctor fell off the radio tower.
Oh, you were right with 7. It was episode 7.
Oh, yes.
Right in the middle of the season. There we go. So wait, it was originally supposed to be, what was it?
9th.
I guess they moved a 2-parter later. It was the last one they filmed, so maybe it wasn't ready.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, obviously we all know that Magpie has turned up quite a few times since they first appeared in this.
Even despite the death of Mr. Magpie.
Yeah.
How that happens? Like after all of that,
just took the company. Maybe Tommy did with his moped, and he did like home delivery. Was the first one to do home delivery.
He's just a kid, though. How would he be
He
able
grows
to
up. He grows up and learns and whatever.
But that would be.
He's going to college. Remember his smarts. He's got that computer smarts. But anyway, so places that we've seen the Magpie Electricals logo. So Martha's TV and sound with drums aboard Starship UK and the Beast Below. The Doctor's electric guitar amplifying before the flood. And even in the TARDIS itself, from the 11th hour onwards, basically, so like the typewriter was Magpie, and yeah, so
there are a couple of connections to Classic Doctor 2 as well. Of course, the faceless people concept is kind of like, well, the faceless ones.
Yeah,
there's some sort of parallel.
So I think it should have made people have square eyes instead.
Yeah,
don't you think that would have been a better thing to happen?
Might have been better.
TV square eyes,
It's still kind of creepy, just have no face. The other thing, which is quite interesting actually, Margaret John, who played Granny Connolly, previously appeared in Fury of the Deep in 1968 and reappeared 38 years later in this.
Yeah, she played Megan Jones in that one. Which I love.
Apparently she holds the record for the greatest span time between guest appearances.
Well, yeah, that is quite a big
yeah, that is
big time.
Big, that.
But yeah,
nice to see that.
Yeah, no, it is good. The phrase "Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin" was popularised by the 1950 to 1982 BBC radio series "Listen with Mother," which began each episode with those words. So yeah, it was just kind of a little reference, and there's some other historical details quite littered throughout.
Also, apparently, as David mentioned in the DVD commentary, at one point he accidentally hits a button on the sonic screwdriver prop in his pocket, and causing to sonic himself, which is apparently visible in the episode itself. I didn't notice it, but apparently he did.
Maybe that's when he's getting his face sucked, is it? Or
he put the sonic screwdriver in his pocket. Apparently, I don't know when that is.
Well, I mean, I don't think it would do that much damage, as it's a screwdriver.
Oh. Could
Yeah.
have sonicked his bones into.
Yeah. Another thing you might have seen was that all the TV aerials look like Schwartz stickers, and this was actually on purpose. According to the DVD commentary, the set designers opted for a sinister design to kind of evoke a post-war era in which something wasn't quite right around the place, you know. So, but I don't know how why people would have bought like aerials which look like Schwartz stickers. after they just fought in the war, especially Mr. Connolly. Come on. He just fought in the war, and yeah. Oh well. Originally, actually, this story was supposed to take place on the Powell Street, where basically Roe lives now, but back, before where it was just, before those had been built. But that just didn't happen. So yeah, this is kind of it, really. That's it for the nerdy. So conclusion, Conrad.
So this episode is. It has good
Tasty.
Things. Yeah.
Tasty.
Yes.
Quite
good. Feed me. Yeah.
Just eating the DVD.
It gets 50s aesthetic down great. Yeah, the wire's creepy. The acting's good. Yeah, it has some pretty good stuff to it. But it has so many issues, both big and small. The biggest probably still being the whole fact that we know everything that's going to happen a long time before the Doctor does, which takes out any sense of mystery or really any sort of threat to the episode. You kind of can already see where the episode is going from the off. You saw what the Wire's doing already. You know that the Doctor's probably going to save the day at the end. There's nothing really else to discover about the episode. There's no other twists. You know everything. You know the episode from 5 minutes in already.
The biggest shock factor is that Rose loses her face. That's it, really.
Yeah. That doesn't. Other than making the Doctor slightly more determined, doesn't really accomplish a lot in the grand scheme of things, really. The Connolly scenes really slow down the pace a lot. And there's so many of them, and there's so much of a focus on them, that it really... It's just kind of boring during those scenes, especially, I presume on rewatches it wouldn't be so interesting either. I mean, again, this is my second time ever
10 years later, basically. It's so weird.
Yeah, and there's still more episodes I haven't seen since this broadcast. I'm working my way through it though. I just stopped at this episode because I was going to save it for this. And there's so many minor issues, but as well. It kind of all builds up. I don't think this episode is particularly great. It has some good aspects, but as a whole, meh. I mean, it's not. Its strong points aren't massively strong. It's no standout episode, and its weak points are really quite iffy. And that's why I would say, as a whole, it'd get my score of a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, yeah. It's quite known among the fan base for not being that well taken to. I think actually on broadcast people liked it more, but as people have gone back and looked at it, it's
on retrospect it's worse. I remember I enjoyed this episode upon first broadcast, but then again I enjoyed most episodes upon first broadcast when I was a kid. So I don't think there's hardly a fair comparison. But...
So yeah, I'd say the Idiot's Lantern does get a bad rep. I mean, people go, it's rubbish, blah blah blah, boring historical setting. Yeah. I'd like to disagree that the historical setting is the problem.
Oh no, that's not the issue.
I don't think that's the issue. As definitely pointed out, now there's no mystery at all, so it's very much what's going to happen. I mean, it's probably a lot more funner on first watch because you don't know what's you don't entirely know what's going to happen. But I mean, it's quite you can kind of because the Connollys take up so much time. If you actually deleted that, you'd probably be left with about a 20-minute episode. I wonder if we edited it just to have the scenes with the Wire in it. Or any importance, okay, and just cut out all the rubbish about the flags and all this and that, and the confrontation outside the house about snitching.
I think it'd be 7 minutes,
and all the keeping up with the Connollys, and the end scene. I'd say it definitely under 20 probably. Yeah. And I mean, it's not that that's bad, but it's just not really what we want to see. But the acting is good, and I'm not blaming them. It's just it's Doctor Who. We want to watch the Doctor, and I mean there are funny parts, and yeah. So I'd say it's mainly the mystery and how they probably handled the Wire at the start. They shouldn't have shown it, but I guess they were trying to just set up the Wire to have that good before intro.
In something to intrigue.
I
But at the same time,
I always love those like pre-title sequence,
Yeah.
and then going into that theme. That is still the best version of the theme with intro. I just love that with the it just gets me more pumped than anything now. I mean, at least the 10th Doctor doesn't have personality changing too much, but he's just a bit thick in this. And yeah, I give the Idiot's Lantern a 4 out of 10. Just because I still can actually generally enjoy it, and it's not a story I dodge. Say if I was watching, I was doing like a marathon of series 2, I wouldn't be like, oh god, I gotta watch Idiot's Lantern.
No, it's
I'd be
not
like,
bad.
it's good entertainment, but it's not a good story.
I think if you're just watching it casually,
Yeah,
you'll have
casually.
an okay time. But with
when you're trying to like really nitpick, hence why if
it
I'm
kind
doing
of falls to pieces.
yeah, then I'm doing like it would be a kind of 3 out of 10, but I'm kind of doing for the general kind of casual kind of like because I mean. Who watches Doctor Who all the time to analyse it? It is more about entertainment. So I'm going with the 4
But at the
out
same
of 10.
time, considering the critical reception this episode started to get, the general reception this episode started to get afterwards, I'd say that it does kind of, especially after seeing what comes
true.
later.
But that might be people on rewatches as well. I mean, if you're going to watch it the first time, then yeah, you'll enjoy it. You will, because it is funny and But hey ho, there you go. At least it's got a decent villain, I'd say. Just. A unique villain. I wouldn't say it's decent. I'd say unique.
Yeah, it's unique and well acted.
A female villain, which is nice.
I just wish she did a bit more manipulating. Like she clearly has Magpie like properly under her control. She should do a bit more of that.
Definitely.
A bit more manipulating, a bit more clever stuff, as opposed to. Feed me! I'm so hungry. I'm a hungry hippo who needs to be fed.
They should have made the Doctor Who version of that, the Hungry Wire.
The hungry wire.
The Hungry Wire. But yeah, actually, there's one line earlier when Mr. Connolly first enters and Gran. She's never given an actual name, isn't that weird?
Granny Connolly.
She's just Granny Connolly. She's never given. Nobody ever knows her real name. It's either Mum or Gran, and basically, she says, "Oh, our Lord and Master," which I always thought maybe might have been like a small kind of like obviously not referencing that he is the Master or anything close to it, but just a small little kind of like like a small nudge, like Master, that character. Yeah, because
Just wait a season.
It's like a really slight mark. I'm not sure if Mark Gatiss meant.
I don't think.
But if it was like it was nice. But yeah, so I guess that's everything really on the Idiot's Lantern that we have to say.
She really never has a name.
She never has one. That's.
I was trying to look at the Doctor Who wiki to see if there was some.
No, she's
something.
never given a name.
No.
It's one of those things. She's just not given a name at all. She's just Gran or Mum. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to our review of Idiot's Lantern. It's about as long as the episode itself, but way more enjoyable. So yeah, give this one a 10 out of 10 and thumbs up. And if not, we'll eat you through your laptop screen. Yeah, because
Feed me!
Feed him. He's a hungry wire. Nom nom nom. But yeah, God, that did get annoying. They need to give her another line.
Yeah.
Give me food.
Let me inhale your faces.
Nom nom nom. I love those eyes.
Let me feed on your mouth until there's nothing more than bits of mouth.
What? The mouth is like an empty gap, so like.
Well, I mean, more than like lips.
Yeah, but then that's not the mouth.
No,
What actually counts as mouth? The inside of mouth. Okay, this is getting too deep. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next time. And yeah, make sure you watch our other reviews in the second batch and go back and watch batch 1 if you haven't. Subscribe.
Pretty please.
Click that button. And
Or
I hope you're sitting comfortably because you've got a lot to catch up with if you haven't if you've just joined.
I mean, you can. Or you don't have to. You don't need to be a magpie just to be manipulated like that. Just doing what you're told to without, much.
Yeah, don't be a coward. Do what
be
you
a coward.
want. Be a Tommy, not an Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't be a kind of overweight guy who
Don't be overweight.
who's a bit domestic.
Lose weight.
No. What? No, ignore Conrad. You're perfect the way you are. Just don't.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful. We will eat your face because we respect everybody.
Yes, we will.
Anyway, yes, and follow us on Twitter because then we actually have a reason to post on there.
Yeah.
I want to reach at least 10 followers before we actually start posting constantly on there, or it's like we're talking to ourselves and it's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, yeah, see you
What
next
weirdo.
time. Bye!
Bye.